The Perashat this week includes what we refer to as the Torat HaMoadim. Chapter 23 of Vayikra is where all the Jewish holidays are listed. It begins with Shabbat and then goes on to list all the rest of the Jewish holidays. Allow me to reflect for a few minutes about the significance of the Jewish holidays. They are, I believe, a window into the soul of Judaism. Unlike other religious rituals, they include every member of the community, are perennial, and require preparation and study. Examining them means delving into the inner sanctuary of our faith, who we are as a people, our sacred books, and to the extent possible, pursuing proximity with God. Understand them, and you hold the spirit of Judaism in your hands. Observing them is important because habits and a commitment to religious practices affirm one's beliefs and core values. Beliefs, writes Rambam, remain meaningful if they are regularly confirmed through practice. If a belief is not acted upon, Rambam teaches, it will fade over time and lose its impact. Jewish law, and especially our holidays, are meant to be observed in what I call in my books the 4 dimensions of our being. This is referred to in halakha as kavanah, loosely translated as intent, but meaning spiritual mindfulness when observing a religious practice and being totally present. The practice of kavanah begins by exercising the intellect. The process involves asking oneself, what is the source of this mitzvah? Why does the Torah demand its observance? Is its origin biblical or rabbinic? How did the sages of the Talmud understand this commandment? Can I think of a good reason for such a mitzvah? One may ask about their historical and cultural origins. With regard to the holy days, one must ask, what is the relationship between the season and how this holiday is observed? What biblical and post-biblical texts are associated with this holiday? These, of course, are just a sampling of the possible questions one may ask, so that the mind and intellect are fully engaged in the practice of kavanah. It is therefore no wonder that Maimonides, Rambam, devoted significant effort to the task of ta'amei mitzvot, elucidating the reasons for the 613 biblical commandments. For him, the process of understanding the source, meaning, and reasons for the commandments was part of his practice of kavanah. Kavanah also engages a range of human emotions. The Torah speaks of holidays, Pesach, Shavuot, and Sukkot, with abundant joy. V'samachta bechagecha v'hayita ach sameach. Rejoice on your holiday and be abundantly joyous. Joy is a theme that runs through all the holidays, including the days of judgment, such as Rosh Hashanah and even Yom Kippur. And it is undoubtedly an important part of observing the Shabbat. The Jewish holidays summon us to dig deep and experience a range of emotions, such as love and awe of God, resulting from His wonders and our people's magnificent journey through history. When reflecting upon the Jewish people's suffering and redemption, triumph is mixed with sadness, promise with trepidation. The holidays, especially Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur, invite us to meditate and reflect to better ourselves. And yet, none of the above begins to actualize the purpose and nature of kavanah if the holidays do not inspire a profound devotion and trust in God, a trust that leads to an anticipation of a world redeemed. Along with expanding the mind and heart, one must engage the soul, the neshama, its spirit, our nefesh, without striving for the presence of God and the pursuit of a life of holiness. The holy days lose their inner essence and become mere formalities, rituals devoid of soul and spirit. The beauty and power of sacred time lies not merely in their observance, but in the transformation they are meant to inspire. Without the yearning for a proximity with Hashem, and without a sincere effort to elevate one's actions, thoughts, and relationships, then the entire exercise becomes simply a series of hollow gestures. True sanctity is awakened only when the human spirit reaches toward the divine, when the Jewish calendar is not just marked by tradition, but by a genuine encounter, reflection, and desire to become more than we were before. The fourth and last dimension of kavanah is, of course, the physical dimension, observing the mitzvah with one's hands, feet, eyes, ears, and of course, stomach. This involves preparation for the celebration, ceasing from work, attending prayer services, reciting blessings at a festive holiday meal, and eating the appropriate foods associated with the celebration. This last dimension takes on considerable meaning when practiced with absolute kavanah. My friends, maintaining a healthy attachment to sacred moments in history inspires a sense of rootedness and empowers the seeker to fully feel alive. Shabbat, the Moadim, and Yamim Noraim are Judaism's ideal spiritual expressions because they incorporate core values, speak to our most profound religious ideals, and represent our people's visions and hopes for the future. The Jewish holidays have guided and sustained the Jewish people through thick and thin throughout our history. The Jewish people's collective memory recognizes not only places where God is ever present, but also moments in time where God's presence was and continues to be felt. Those are moments that stir the soul beyond words. Embrace those moments that induce a sense of awe, love, and wonder. Sharing the holidays with family and community invite a sense of love and friendship. When practiced habitually, the experience becomes lasting. Shabbat Shalom.